Hello there, Pinky Dusty Rebel here. I'm going to show you 6 of my favorite subsumes on Warframe today. Now, before we jump on into the list, I just want to say there's no right or wrong way to make these builds. That's one of the most beautiful things about Warframe. There is no right or wrong way to build a Warframe as long as you have fun and it matches your play style to your satisfactory. Then you're winning this game. You're winning. We're going to start off with probably the most brutal combo in the list today, and that is going to be Smite, Oberon's first ability put on Mirage. Now, Mirage already has a huge arsenal of offensive abilities, with her first being Hall of Mirrors and the third being Eclipse. But with Smite and its augment mod, you can make it so you can combine the three into an overwhelming amount of firepower. So for those of you that are not familiar with how Smite works, Smite is a projectile attack normally, but with the augment mod, it creates a damage buff of radiation on your character to use on your weapons. Now, for most damage multiplier abilities like Roar or Zada's Whisper, you would have to replace one of the other damage multiplier abilities. But because Smite is originally a projectile ability, but with the augment mod, it creates a buff, it doesn't have to replace one of the damage multiplier abilities. So you can run Smite, Hall of Mirrors, and Eclipse all at the same time for a massive output of damage. I absolutely love this combo. I used this combo for most of my Steel Path star chart. Mirage and I had a wonderful trip down the Steel Path star chart. It was magnificent. Now, my recommendation for making a build for this would be pretty much one of the standard Mirage builds anyway, would be a straight strength and duration build. All strength and duration mods, and then obviously you need to have the augment mod for Smite, and there you go. Click all three abilities and just have at it. Go at it. For the second Subsume combo on our list, we're going to take Mag's first ability, Pull, and we're going to put it on Necros. This is more of a efficient build. Because Necros is more of a looty boy, I love my looty boy, you can put Mag's Pull with the augment Greedy Pull, and you can make tons of loot drop everywhere, and then you can just suck it all in with that pull ability. Now, the standard Necros build is mostly range, so you can desecrate more and more bodies and get more and more loot. So you already have that range on the pull. With all range mods, you can get up to about 60 on the pull, and you can get a crazy amount of looties in your pockets. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I absolutely love loot. Warframe satisfies me in a very sexual way, in the way I'm allowed to have as much loot as I possibly want. So the third subsume on our list is going to be the same ability, Mag's Pull, on Zaku. Now, Zaku's fourth ability, the Vast Untime, has a very awesome little tidbit to it that you may not have known. It breaks containers. It breaks containers, and inside those containers is usually loot. So you can use Greedy Pull to yeet all of those goodies from those containers that you break open with Zaku. Now, this is extremely useful if you are trying to gather resources on the open worlds. Deimos was meant for Zaku. Zaku rises from Deimos and pulls all the loot from it. Now, this also works on Fortuna in the Orb Vallis, gathering resources there, even gathering Iridite on the plains of Eidolon on Earth. This is just an all-around nice way to gather resources that come from boxes and little looty bundles. Let's move on to number 4 on the list. Now, this one is very common in different variations, but this one is all about Titania in her 4th ability, using the little fly fairy around the town. Now, there's a bunch of different ways to give it a speed boost. I personally like using Firewalker, because you leave a little trail. It gives you a little speed boost on top of that. Now, but there are other ways you can run this also. You can use Infested Mobility. You can use Saren's Molt. There is a lot of fun flying around at hyper speed. Now, like I said, I like to use Neja's Firewalker ability with Titania's Razor Wing. It gives you a nice little speed boost on top of the fact that you are flying around, leaving little trails of whatever beautiful color you are leaving behind you. If you get really good with this, you can actually draw your name in the sky while also burning the flesh of your enemies. It is so much fun. Now, I recommend running a high strength and high duration build for this. The strength will make it so your fire stings a little bit more, while also being able to fly around and deal more damage in your Razor Wing. But the duration will help you in 2 different ways. It will make it so the fire will last longer, and it will also help you with your energy efficiency while in your Razor Wing, making it so you can stay in there longer and do more fly, 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 and burn, burn, burn. Number 5 on our list today, we had to get the buff girl Hildren out, and we're going to put this is literally my favorite ability of all of the Subsume abilities, Thermal Sunder. Thermal Sunder is Gauss's ability, and it just gives any Warframe you want a AoE damage ability that just is really nice. It's just nice. Now on Hildren, this is even especially nice because Hildren uses shields for energy. Now using that, you can constantly pump out Thermal Sunder, which is just fantastic. Just constant destructive chaos from our girl Hildren. I love it. I love it. I love it. Now with Arcane Barrier and Arcane Energize, yes, I said Arcane Energize. Little fun fact, if you did not know, Arcane Energize will proc on Hildren and affect her shields. This gives you a massive amount of shield back so that you can just keep blowing your load all over your enemies. Oh yes. I recommend running a strength and range build for this. Strength, obviously, so your Thermal Sunder tickles your enemies more, and range, obviously, so you can reach massive amounts of enemies. Now, you also want to put a lot of shield mods on Hildren. This is pretty basic stuff for Hildren. You want more shields because shields is energy. It protects her and also allows her to do more abilities. Also, one more little tip just for Thermal Sunder. You want to double cast this ability because if you run the cold proc and the heat proc together, you will create a blast proc, which will knock over enemies and do a nice bonus bit of damage to said enemies. Oh, they won't know what hit them. Get on the floor, and give me more. We have made it to our last one on the list. Number 6, we have Wisp's ability, Breach Surge, and we are going to put it on Saren. This one fits like a glove. Most Saren builds out there are built with range and strength so that you can reach every enemy with your first ability, Spores, and also your fourth ability, Miasma, to capitalize on your spores doing increased amount of damage. Now, Breach Surge does fantastic with high range, making it so that you can blind your enemies and also causing a damage multiplier on top of little sparks flying out and hitting other enemies when they are damaged, making it so these three abilities just, oh my gosh, orgasmic. They work together so well. Now, with this ability put on Saren, Saren easily becomes my favorite frame to run relics with. The reason why is when you normally run a Saren, sometimes you can overkill the enemies. Yes, I know that's ridiculous, but you can overkill the enemies before they will get shiny, and they won't drop reactant that you need to open your relic. Now, the nice thing about Breach Surge on Saren is the blinding effect. You can use just Breach Surge to blind your enemies and give them enough time they need to turn shiny. And then once they turn shiny, you hit them with the first and you hit them with the fourth, and it is miraculous. That's it for our list, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share this video with your friends. I love playing around with the helmet and different builds, so if you have a build you'd like me to check out or you just want to share, make sure to leave it in the comments. I'd love to see it. I'd love to hear new ideas. I'd love to play around with these ideas and see if we could turn them into some laughs. This is Pinky signing off. I'll see you on the next one. Thank you once again for watching. You stay beautiful out there. Bye-bye.